Hi everybody, it's Gail from Gail's Bookish Things. I have a little bit of a planner video, I guess, to do today. I've debated about filming this because it's going to be a little bit of an undertaking to set this up, but I thought I would share it because it's super new to me and I wanted to share a little bit of my thought process in trying something new. So to start with, I don't need that at the moment. We'll get to that in a second, but this is my current planner system. This is a Sojourner Roadrunner with the the nude or natural pocket, the designer one. Anyway, that's not my point of this, but let me just explain. So I started out about a year ago, maybe a little longer. I decided to switch over and try the Hobonichi Weeks. I didn't get the genuine item. I got one that's sold by Amazon because I thought it'd be good to try a cheaper version before spending more money on something I wasn't sure that I would like. And I really ended up loving that format. And the good thing about it is that it fit into a B6 Slim cover. I liked that for quite a while, but then the thing with the Hobonichi, and I'm calling it that, but it was just an off-brand, but it was shorter. It wasn't as wide, from here to here it wasn't as wide. So I had these other notebooks in here with it, and I just felt it was it's not a big deal, but it just looked kind of sloppy or clunky to me. I didn't end up liking having a insert in here that was so much more narrow than the B6 Slim cover. So when I think I used that up, or maybe I just got tired of using it. I don't remember for sure. I can't find it. I've looked all around in my junk and I can't find it, so I may have thrown it away. But I decided then to order these inserts from let's see, Yellow Paper House. I'm trying to find, let me unclip these. Essentially what I have is two inserts. They're both this craft cover. I ordered this one in, I think it's like a lemon or a pale yellow or something like that. And then I ordered the monthly calendar in more of a cream. I like this a lot better. So one thing I've learned is I don't really like planning on colored pages. I thought I'd like the variety, but I haven't liked how my inks have looked on that. And I've been trying to use a brown, let's see, Monteverde Scotch brown. And, it writes well enough, but I'm just not liking how that looks. But that's a silly thing in the whole scheme of things. It really doesn't matter, and I could very easily use this up. But I do have several weeks left before it would be done. Anyway, I definitely like a cream or an ivory in this setup a little bit better. Definitely not the color. I also have an insert that I took out because it's got my holiday grocery planning on it, but it was a fall color insert, but they weren't really fall colors. They were bright fall colors, almost more neon-like colors that I haven't liked writing on as well either. But I liked this size, and I liked that the B6 Slim inserts fit this notebook so much more nicely. It's because the size of the insert was matching the notebook. So, pretty happy with this setup. I like the Hobonichi Weeks setup where you have your week and then you have this. For a long time I was doing a tracker. That is something I've always thought was very weird. Like, why do you need to track everything you do? Just do it. It seemed tedious to me. However, I did decide to try it, and I was doing a tracker of some things I really wanted to make sure I made a point of trying to get better at. And one of those is just making sure I'm keeping up with my kids that don't live at home anymore. It would help me remember, have I texted, or at least text, usually not call because calls are harder to coordinate, but have I sent them a text? Whatever. So I would kind of track that. And then also, you know, the basic things, water, exercise, always working on drinking more water. It does not come natural to me. I'm not that thirsty of a person. But anyway, so those kinds of things kind of made sense for me to track. And then it was sort of satisfying when you could see, oh, I've filled in that square and that square. So anyway, all that to say is this design seemed well suited for that. I also liked, and this is how I started out, I would put on each day the things that had to happen that day. For example, if we had a orthodontist appointment on Tuesday, I would write that on Tuesday. I tried not to clutter up my planner with take the stuff out of the oven at 3 or pick up mail, because that's something I do every day. I don't know, you know, I just wanted to keep it more streamlined so it just wasn't a bunch of chicken scratch everywhere. And that worked for a while, and then I fell into my old habits of, I'm trying to think of an example, but okay, buy milk. So I don't get to it on Monday. So I write it, I scratch it out and I write it on Tuesday and so on and so forth. And then the stuff just keeps getting moved all over the place. And it just seems like, I don't know, like this just turns into sloppiness. And when I first started out, it helped me just to be more intentional. Write down what I need to do that day or what I am going to do that day. Mop the floor. Okay, so I have 3 things to do on Monday instead of 25. If I have 3 things, I'll get 3 things done. If I overwhelm myself, I'm not going to get it all done anyway. So I kind of learned, write down fewer things and make yourself do fewer things. And in the end, I found myself more productive with not overscheduling. But that's a little bit of a different point. It helped for that. And then here was kind of where I wrote things that didn't have to happen on a particular day. Maybe I needed to buy Christmas cards, or I needed to plan a birthday meal or something. That could be any time in that week. So that was more of the things that I put here. And I usually set up my little tracker type thing down here. That setup has worked really well, but I feel like I've lost momentum. So 2 points. I love this setup. This is why I bought these after going out of the pseudo Hobonichi weeks and found that the same format in a little bit wider of a page worked well for me, but it's only in the past couple of months maybe that I've kind of let that go. I think when I switched over to this book, I quit doing the tracker, so I don't know what happened, but that's okay. Anyway, it just turned into almost like a pad of paper where it was just like a to-do list, and I was thinking I'm not using this the way I want. I don't need it to be labeled if I'm going to do it Thursday or Friday instead of on Monday. It seemed like I had a tool that wasn't being implemented. And I'm not liking writing on the yellow, although this is a pleasant color. You know, it's not blaring, it's not neon. I just don't like using it quite as well. I do like Yellow Paper House on Etsy. I'll just show you their little thing there. I've gotten several inserts from them. Never been disappointed in the quality, and I feel like they deliver their items or ship them rather quickly. So because I am very open to the power of suggestion, and I've been watching YouTubers, I've seen a lot of people have the, okay, am I going to say it right? The Jibun Techo 2021. This appealed to me for a couple reasons. Well, it's kind of like a spider web thought. It didn't happen incrementally, but yes, Sarah Martinez, power of suggestion always. I need to quit watching Sarah because I always like her ideas and want to try to implement them. I'm kidding, but she had a similar setup, and she linked Lindsay's scribbles, and I went and watched Lindsay's also, and I really liked how you could kind of incorporate, you know, a planning like this, except it's a different setup. But I felt like it might have more flexibility, and it would give me a way to, try to find out how to open this, kind of add a little creative touch. Because I'm very drawn to details, adding, gosh, I just can't quite grip that corner here. Adding little touches that personalize something. That's been fun for me. I noticed that there were several different ways that this could look. There's a business version. There's like, I guess, a everyday version. And I debated because I didn't want to spend the money, and I had this, but I was finding that instead of my planner being motivating and a fun thing to go to, it was just turned into something sitting there, and I fell into my old scribble scratch patterns instead of being more intentional and productive with it. So I decided to try this and found this white one. I think I keep interrupting myself. Thank you for bearing with me. This is made in Japan. It's, I don't know how to pronounce it exactly, but Kokuyo. I don't have a good Japanese accent, but that's the kind of paper, I think. This mini is supposed to fit a B6 Slim cover if you happen to want to use a leather cover. Side note, I was watching Rowena from Sojourner USA, and she said that her, and these happen to both be her products, this is the Traveler's Notebook and this is a folio, she said hers are made wide enough to fit the Jibun Techo, but not all B6 Slim covers will, so that is something to look into if you're thinking of trying it and you have already gotten a B6 Slim cover. It may or may not fit, so I don't have dimensions for you. You'll have to research that, but I was happy to know it will fit perhaps one of these two. I can juggle around how I'm using those. I like mixing stuff up. I kind of get to where I feel settled, and then after a while the settled feels kind of boring, so it's fun to trade up the notebooks and make sure they're all getting used. This does come with a cover, and as you can see, this clear cover, and it has some card inserts there, pocket inserts. This folds out, and it's a pen loop, and it's got another card there, so I can take it out of this clear cover. I think people call it a cover on cover, but I might just try it for a while like that. And I've also seen some people insert a piece of scrapbooking paper that they like in the front if they don't particularly care for the plain design. So when I was watching Lindsay scribble, she had a bigger version. Would it be the A5? I think A5. And I loved how that just created like this beautiful book of memories / as a planner at the end of the year. But I felt like I just didn't want to do a book that big yet. I haven't quite felt settled with the larger size books. So that this came in a B6 Slim was very appealing to me. It's got all this kinds of stuff. You can look at this on a variety of other YouTube channels. It's telling you how to use this. There are some features here that I think I will enjoy. One age chart. I have some grandchildren, and I'm starting to get like great nieces and nephews. So kind of keeping track of maybe some of the ages there, or my regular nieces and nephews. That might be good. 100 Wishes. I think that might be a good place to log or keep track of some stationery pen type products I'm interested in trying. Book list. I do have a book chart or a traveler's notebook. This here that I use for my reading, but maybe having kind of a running list here might be good. Our movies, stuff we want to watch that we forget about, gifts received and given. I think that could be handy. And then this promise list seems kind of funny. Maybe not something we were normally thinking of, but I kind of like that idea. If I tell somebody I'm going to do something, to jot it down so I don't forget. And I remembered this week that like 6 months ago I told a friend I would ask another acquaintance about a job opportunity for her husband, and I totally didn't follow through with that. So that might be a good place for that. What I really thought was going to be useful for me is that this has a monthly schedule and a weekly schedule. Some of them also have a daily, and I think that's in the Hobonichi Cousin has the added segment of a daily. And I thought I really don't need a daily section because my weekly schedule is my daily. I didn't feel like I needed to break it down from month to week to day. That was going to feel too tedious to me, too redundant. So I was glad to find that this did not have that. This has a road map, so if I ever learn Japanese and go to Japan, I'll be able to find my way around. World time differences will be fun. I would love to know those things, but that's not going to happen. So this more personal one has the color. On the top here, the business one, from what I've been reading, does not have color. It's more gray, so it's more professional looking, I suppose. It would be, I think, similar to these pages. I've thought a lot about what I want to put in this. I just need a good chunk of time to sit down and get it ready for the new year. This is actually really neat, this Japan map. This is if you are traveling in the country, because it's a Japanese-made product. You can mark the places that you've been. Money plan. That might be a good place for me to record what I've spent so I don't tend to overdo it. Okay, let me trying to kind of get the layout here, because this is the first time I've had one of these. So, yeah, it is specifically labeled for the year. Okay, I'm seeing November. Okay, so let's look at this. Last month. But what I think I'll do is what I kind of already do in this planner is to write down people's birthdays that I want to keep track of on here, and then I will use my Ollie clip to go from, or any kind of paper clip you have. I like the magnet version of it, or the fact that this is a magnet. Use a paper clip. You don't have to have this. Anyway, birthdays, maybe there's a week that's designated for vacation, anniversaries, so forth. Let me get a drink of water, hang on. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do with that. It's just what I do here already. I flip from the, I really don't need to show this, but I flip from the month I'm on, I keep it clip together to the week I'm on. I still manage to forget birthdays, but I'm going to work on that. So that's what I'll do here, and then there's a place here for lists. I have written down, like I said, several things I want to add to this to really make this a good tool. It's a nice handy size, and I want to make it very usable in other ways. So say we have this month, and then I'm going to the week in November that I'm on November. It's the monthly. I'll go to the week I'm on. And so when I allow this to work for me, I'm noticing, okay, so-and-so's birthday's on the 10th. Then I might transfer that here as well so that I don't forget it. And so when I'm on my week here, I'll remember to get a card or something. That's a little bit of a breakdown for me. I forget to flip back and look what's coming, or I see that it's coming, and then when I get to that week, I've forgotten. So I'm trying to keep up with that. This will be more things that are just kind of already on the books. This isn't where I'll write, take the trash out, or go to the mailbox, up store. This is just kind of set in stone type activities, predetermined events that I can look back on. But then on the weekly, I will make it kind of my to-do list. Now what drew me away from this at first was the vertical setup. I've really gotten comfortable with this horizontal layout. But since I tend to, like I was saying, just write to do, scratch it out, move it, somebody, I think it was Lindsay at Lindsay Scribbles, said that she writes in what she has to do in a day. She kind of ignores the timeline here, the time of day numbers, and will just write down. And I think that's a plan that will work for me too. So if in the morning I'm meeting somebody for breakfast, let's say, I can write meet Christine for breakfast, and then write down any other things that need to happen that day, but not necessarily a time of day. I don't need to be that precise because I'm not a business person. I'm a homemaker. And so my time is somewhat more flexible. How I will use this as a tool, though, is to make sure I get in things that are important to me. In the morning, I like to read my Bible, and I like to do my Bible study and my gratitude journal. And so I might just vaguely put that in the morning section. And then in the evening section, I'm trying to brush up on learning French. It was my college minor, and I studied it all through high school and junior high, but I've forgotten a lot, and I want to bring that back to the forefront of my mind, but I know I won't do it unless I designate a time. So I'm kind of hoping to do, I don't know, but say 8 to 8:30, 2 or 3 evenings a week, study French. If I do it every evening, then it's going to become a job, and I'll get bored with it, or I'll rebel. I don't want to do my French. So this will be a tool to put down the goal things that matter to me. And I think somewhere in here there's like a goal. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I'm not familiar with this yet. But year goals would be to work on French several days a week. I do read books with my book club. I might add to that a few more books in a month that are of interest to me and not just what the group is doing. Things like that. So I think once I get my groove here, I think I'm going to like this. And having a new setup, I think will keep me motivated for quite a while. So getting back to how I'll plan specific things on the times. There are time things here. Numbers for the time of day that you're on. But I'm not going to adhere to those like a machine. I don't need that. I'll just write it in when it's appropriate. And otherwise, I'll make it my to-do list. So if I need to go take my son Drew to get new shoes, I'll be like, buy shoes for Drew. That could also go here on the weekly list. And at some point, it'll get done. Same thing with like writing letters. Maybe this week I need to write a letter, but it doesn't matter what day it happens. I just want to write it here. So I can do that. I can write it here and check it off. Or I think, and I keep going back to this and not finishing, my thought is that I think what Lindsay says that she does is it's kind of like a running list. So for example, buy shoes for Drew on Monday. If I don't get to it until Thursday, it really doesn't matter. It's just on there because it needs to happen this week. And then as I accomplish those tasks, I can check them off or highlight them or something. So I kind of want to make this where at the end of the year it's fun to look at. I don't think I want to pitch it when I'm done. I kind of want to make it like what I've seen these other planner people do, is to almost become sort of a memory thing too. So I've ordered a few little stickers, not a lot, but a few things like Happy Mail stickers. It's been fun sending and receiving a few of those, so that would be something that I would put, send Happy Mail to Sherry, or received Happy Mail from Donna, or something like that. So that, and that way it becomes a memory book, but it can also be, it's like a planner, but then as things happen you can fill those in too. So in that way it becomes kind of a memory book. That is my thought. I need to figure out what I want to do with the space down here. I need to review a few videos and see how other people use them and get my creative juices going there and see what will work for me. Up here is this little itty bitty weather tracker. And again, that's one of those things I like. I'm not sure why people want to track the weather. I mean, it's fun. I don't feel a need to do that, but since this is here, it does seem kind of fun to say, oh, it was a sunny day or cloudy. I love rainy days, so I'll have fun marking those. And it's just a little thing to do. Anyway, so that's the plan. I'm going to familiarize, it's a big word for me, myself with the format a little bit. I'm going to look over my notes that I jotted down to myself on what I hope to accomplish using this style and see if it'll work for me for this year. There's nothing, that says you have to stay with something if you just dislike it. Sometimes I think maybe it is just more my style to write and scratch and move on, and so maybe I don't need something this precise, but I'm just kind of wanting to try it for something new. And since, like I said, I'm a list maker, I'll make lists. They'll go down instead of across. And then all this space that sometimes gets used or sometimes doesn't, I won't have that so much. That could be something I do down here maybe. Yeah, I really don't know. These have different oh, this must be a mood tracker. That's what it is. There's a smiley face, a medium face, and a sad face. And again, that seems like one of those things, like I don't know why you really need to do that, other than that maybe it's just fun to be aware of, or it might be something, if you're interested in, okay, it was cloudy, that put me in a bad mood. For me, a rainy day puts me in a happy mood. So I love a rainy day, but not when I have to go driving in it. Anyway, maybe it's good for stuff like that, or maybe it's just because this is part of a person's life and they want to document that. So that's not a bad thing. Let's take a quick peek and see how this works. So this is my old Hobonichi cover, and you can see it comes to there. So it was quite a bit more narrow, and it just started to feel kind of clunky. Let me see, I'm trying to find the center. This was an insert that I put in here too for purchases, and I've not done well with having all these different little books to write stuff down in a planner. So having the one, I think might be a good fit. And these two books too, the idea really worked well. I was proud of myself for thinking of that, but I was just mimicking the Hobonichi weeks, but I was having it in two instead of one, and it kind of appeals to me to maybe simplify a little. Okay, I took all that out and realized this is, sorry, I've got a mess here, the strings and not the other one. So what I had done before was to put this cover through the strings and then insert the planner back in there. Let's not mess with that right now. Let's just see. To me it looks like it would barely fit. This is in the way. Let's take that out. So if I took it out of the plastic cover, it looks like, it would probably just fit. And I don't know, I'm not really seeing that it will fit, but this is kind of bent. Yeah, well, it's because I have the plastic on. I can't get a good take on it. Let's try this other one just for a minute, in case this is something you're thinking about. I can do the work for you here. This is my little journal to my husband. I find I don't write in this as often as I should, but I have done quite a bit, but it's not a real great paper, so it doesn't work as good with my fountain pens. And when I want to write with my fountain pens, I like using a good paper. I love this Nanami Notes, Cafe Notes, Nanami Cafe Notes. There we go. Blah, blah, blah. Love writing on this. This is B6 Slim too, with the fountain pens. So let's see. I think I might be making a switch. I should take it out of this. I just need to take it out of the cover. It's not working to do this testing with the plastic cover on. That is super neat though that it comes with the cover. I really appreciate that feature. This is just a paper. So it's the same as this, but I didn't realize that this was just a little paper cover. I guess what you could do is decorate that if you are inclined to add your own personal touch. Or you could take this out and use it as a template, or you can just leave it in there if you're going to use it like this. But what I want to see is if it really will fit. Ooh, I think it does, and I like that. If I can just slide it all the way over, it's kind of, there we go. Oh my goodness. Okay, that is like one of those yes moments. Totally love that. Absolutely love it. Okay, this is appealing to me because it's very simplified. All the stuff that I had in here, where's all my books? My scrap paper purchase thing, my old Hobonichi cover, my monthly and weekly calendar inserts. You know, sometimes I like all those things going on, and then sometimes this is just like, yes, this is totally a good feel for me. It allows me to enjoy these beautiful leather covers. I love this Elon leather one so much. Have to smell it. It always smells so good. But see, all that same information that I had and all these several things is now in one simple book. It's a different format for sure. That'll take a little getting used to, but since it looks like I tend to just be a list maker and analyzing what I tend to revert to, this might not be bad. I may not keep up with it looking cute and fun. I hope that I will take a little time to do that, but I had to find my niche with that. Or niche, I think, is actually the proper way of saying it. Well, yeah, it has these different monthly things too. I'm going to have to review a video. Jet Pens, I think it is, has some, yeah, pretty sure it's Jet Pens, has some videos on YouTube that talk about a good way to use these. So I would like to take advantage of all the features as much as I can and would enjoy them. This feels great. This just feels like I could take it with me. I don't usually take my planner because I don't go that many places that I need to, but if I was so inclined to go have a little planning session away from the house for a while, this would be very easy to take, and it's not going to like fall out. I don't have all these things in there. Okay, just putting that in there makes me super happy that I'm trying this. And I guess I could put that in there too, but I kind of like it like this. And then here I can put a few stickers that I've ordered. I do plenty of other journaling, so I don't need another thing to keep up with a whole lot, but I would like for this to be a very well used and implemented purchase. I just noticed here's the page with the world time differences. I'd have to kind of analyze that a little bit, but that's kind of cool. I have a son who lives in Italy, and I have a granddaughter in Alaska and some friends in Europe, so it'll be kind of fun just to glance at that and see what the time is. Okay, so that's a long, wordy ramble, but you know how we are. If that thing floats your boat, you might enjoy listening to that. If it doesn't, I hope that you didn't waste your time and think, oh, that was so boring. That's where I'm coming from. This is my new direction. I just need to get a few hours and transfer birthdays and so forth and plans, and I think I might keep it in there. So now I need to rework this to house my journaling to family. So we'll switch it up for a while. Let's see how we like it. I do love this leather though. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.